Hello YouTube, this is Hunting Guy 532 and today I decided let's talk prices of shit. The cost of living in Canada, at least in New Brunswick at least, has gone up dramatically. Right now, I'm smoking a cigarette that I've rolled myself. Last year, well, it's been 11 months, and in one more month I will have been rolling for a year. And time flies, I know. When I started rolling cigarettes, it cost me $25 to buy a 100-gram tub of tobacco and a 200 box of cigarette tubes, filtered cigarette tubes. And I just got a text message. And the price of gas was $1 a liter. Now, the price now to buy cigarettes, rolling prices that is, it cost me $35 for a fucking tub of tobacco. That's not with tubes. That's just the 100-gram tub itself. And that's the cheap shit. Gas at the local store is yesterday was $1.21 a liter. In town is 2 cents more expensive than out here. Good for us, I suppose. Food has gone up dramatically. I remember back when in the fall the price of tobacco went up. It didn't go up that much. It cost me $27. It would cost me $27 for a tub and tubes. So that I was like, fuck, that went up a little. Started doing some math, and I was like, well, you know what? It's not too bad. It could be worse. Then last winter, it went up to what it is to the price I'm paying now for smoking, food, and gasoline, unleaded gas. That whatever the fuck comes after regular, that's higher, more expensive, and then Supreme's obviously the most expensive. But the problem now is a lot of people have to put Supreme in their gas tanks of their cars. If you own an older car or truck, the 10% ethanol shit that they put in that on the regular and the one above that, whatever the fuck that's called, gasoline is all 10% ethanol now. Supposedly. All I know is if you have an older vehicle that's gas powered and you go to run that stuff, your vehicle doesn't run so well anymore. I had a 92 Chevy Cheyenne, which my dad is selling right now. It's a great truck, by the way. He was putting regular in it like normal, right? The cheap shit. And ever since they started putting, this is back when they only had the 5% in there, it didn't start running right. The only thing they didn't put that 10% in is the Supreme. So now everybody with an older vehicle has to buy them very expensive fuel. It's kind of a kick in the nuts. At Tim Hortons, for example, I don't go to Timmy's all the time, but when I do, I like a decent, cheaper coffee. For a large coffee, just black, just nothing fancy in it, it costs $1.90. That's almost $2. That was before gas rose. I remember back in April, Tim Hortons having a sign out saying within a week that their prices would change. Right? They didn't say why. They just said what. Well, at that point, gas rose like 5-6 cents. It was fluctuating between 4 to 6 cents above. In the past couple of months, you see gas drop a few cents, everybody jumps on the bandwagon, let's maybe fill our tanks or something. But then it was like every Wednesday or every Thursday, gas would just skyrocket again. Kind of fucked up, if you ask me. Is now back to a point. Is this a sign of, say, an earlier evolution? Is the end of the world coming? Now, I'm not trying to sound like fucking nut bar that I'll be up on the water tower with the fucking 30-06 when the balloon goes up kind of thing. But is there a revolution coming faster? More people are going through more money now, myself included. I'm losing more money due to the cost of living now because the government of New Brunswick rose its own taxes again upon the Harper rose the taxes on cigarettes, gasoline, and food and shit. Right? That rose, and then the government of New Brunswick rose the cost of cigarettes and gasoline. So I'm paying a huge chunk of what I make when I work out of my paycheck to food, gasoline, and cigarettes. Now, some of you might say, oh, well, don't you make your own fuel? You make your own biodiesel. Yes, I still do make my own biodiesel. The only problem is when you and your buddies all want to go hang out and all your buddies are driving gas-powered vehicles and you all have to pitch in for gas, that gets fucking expensive. I'll tell you that much. Biodiesel works in the warm seasons. You can't run it in the winter. Diesel's even more expensive than gasoline, which if you know anything about a bubble tower and how they turn oil into fuel, diesel comes before gasoline, which it takes less effort to make diesel than it does to make gasoline. Shouldn't diesel be cheaper? Just putting that out there. So, could a revolution be coming because of the high prices of everything? If you do a little research when the British invaded America, and I'm not an expert on that by any means, feel free to correct me a little, but the British were putting taxes on just about everything, and high taxes that your common man could not afford. Right now, a common man is barely able to afford a sustained living. If you work in a high-rise building making, 8 fucking digits a year, well, good for you. You don't really care. Well, you might still care, but you can still afford it. If you work, say, as a carpenter, a mechanic, a lumberman, a blue collar style job, or you're a farmer or something, right? A truck driver, you make decent money, but you don't make enough money per se to even just raise a family, let alone keep yourself sustained. I have a buddy who's a carpenter. He's got a truck payment right now, paying for cigarettes and everything else, food on occasions, and it's really expensive. It's really hard to live right now. So is it the sign of an early revolution? Is it the sign of the world coming to an end kind of thing? That goes back to preparedness and being smart about it, not being that fucking Yahoo up on the water tower with the 30-06 again. What's it gonna, feel free to put your input to anybody who feels like actually watching one of my videos. So, it's just one of those things. Where am I really going with this? I'm not quite sure right now because I'm about to go on a hike. I'm just having a smoke before I leave. So put in your input, think really hard, check out your areas. The prices of everything just all of a sudden going up. Kind of weird. No rhyme or reason to it. Think about it that way. Talk to y'all later.